Hello, my name is Shauna Zweifel, and this is my case study over parental apathy. As far as identifying what I know about the situation, I just pulled out snippets as I was going through the reading. I know that Mrs. Rose is a new assistant principal who just finished her master's degree in administration. It appears that her school, her new school that she's at, has very little contact with parents or involvement. Currently, there are no parent-teacher groups, although there have been in the past. And early on, Mrs. Rose spoke with the principal about more involvement with the parents. However, he did not seem very interested and spoke about the lack of involvement in the past on the part of the parents. What I know continued, the principal feels like he receives enough feedback from the parents through phone calls and conferences. He also has stated that he feels like parents think that educators should do all of the work. Mrs. Rose again brought up the need for involvement, and this time the principal agreed, and he arranged a meeting to gauge whether parents would want to be involved. And he also made it clear that he did not want to form a parent-teacher group, but he would look into forming a parents' advisory group. An announcement was made on Friday and distributed to the students regarding the meeting. They were to take the announcement home and to let their parents know about the meeting, which was then scheduled for the next Monday, only 3 days notice. Only 8 parents showed up to the meeting, and at the time of the meeting, the principal was debating about whether or not really to have the meeting since it was so poorly attended. What I need to know, some things that I figured or had questions in my mind as I was reading this. I wanted to know if the school was an elementary school, a middle school, or a high school. And then I also wanted to know what the population of the school was. 8 parents. I don't know. Is that a lot? Is that not very many? It all depends on the size of your school. I also wanted to know, was the meeting announced any other way besides giving a note to the students to take home to their parents? And then also, what are the superintendent's feelings on parental involvement? The problem that I identified here is the lack of motivation by the school principal in initiating communication between the school and the parents and community. The principal only seems to be going along with Mrs. Rose in order to please her. It appears he did not let parents know about the meeting other than through the students, and he only gave the parents a 3-day notice prior to the meeting. My proposed plan of action, the first thing I want to do is at the meeting, I want to make sure and say to the principal, hey, I really want to go through with this meeting. I'll even lead it if you'd like me to. I also want to schedule another meeting a few weeks from now with this same set of parents and try to include more next time as well. I also would like to pull a few parents from the school and also just sit down with them and kind of get their feedback, their insight. And then I also would like to speak with the teachers in the school and just kind of find out, is there parental involvement that I don't know about? Or have we tried this in the past and it hasn't worked? But I just would like more information. The strategies that I would use to implement my plan, the first one I would want to do is to go visit with the superintendent. I want to gain a feeling for how he or she feels about parental involvement in the district. I would also use this time to share my opinion about how I feel that it can better our students' success and the rapport between the school and the community as well. Another strategy that I would want to implement is to let parents know about the meeting more than 3 days ahead of time. It's important that parents get a chance to find babysitters if they need to, or for whatever reason, just to schedule it into their plans. Plus, I would also not just send home a note with students. I know that I work at the middle school, and that's not a great option to do that, to send that home with a kid. So I would do that, but then I would also send out a mass email, plus I would put it on our website. I would also like to schedule that time to visit with the teachers and a few parents who attended those meetings. I want to definitely gain insight. I would develop questions ahead of time so that I could ask them and get their input on those things. Category 3, resolving the issues. Even though only 8 parents showed up for the informational meeting, that's still 8 parents of kids who attend school there. 8 parents who care about their child's education and are willing to work with the school in a partnership. By going ahead with the meeting, the administration is showing that they desire a relationship with the parents of their students. Parents who are on common ground with the school have the ability to motivate their son or daughter to do their best, and in that respect are promoting the success of their student. I also feel like visiting with parents and teachers in the school can be helpful in regards to knowing what has been tried and what others view as important in trying to develop a relationship with the parents in the community. Because these groups of people have more experience with this community, they have more insight into the situation at hand. They might have helpful advice as to how to proceed. By involving others in this process, a better method of communication is more likely to happen. Students are more likely to make gains in school if an effective communication system is put together using information from a variety of resources. Through contact with the superintendent, it is hopeful that more people will be on the same page after some discussion. Even though I don't know how the superintendent would respond, I'm hopeful that he or she would be in favor of communication with parents. As the superintendent, he or she has the ability to promote communication through all of the schools in the district. Therefore, students would be supported throughout their schooling. Debriefing the problem as far as what I was thinking, feeling, and valuing as I was reading through this case study. I am a mom of 2 elementary students, and I was trying to imagine as I was reading through this, a principal who would not want to encourage parental involvement. I know how much communication there is that goes on right now between my daughter's school and myself, and I can't imagine that not being there. I also value the school that I work with, their attempt at communication with parents, but I also know that we can do better. Our parent-teacher organization doesn't have the greatest attendance of parents, and I know there's got to be a way that we can improve that. I also felt frustrated with the principal at the school. I didn't want to overstep my boundaries as an assistant principal, but I also didn't want to cancel the meeting when 8 parents showed up. Issues that are unresolved. Things that I don't know what happened after the case study dropped off is, does the principal go ahead with the meeting? Is there a parent-teacher organization formed? And will there be opportunities for parents to get more involved in their child's education? In regards to Standard 4, I felt that as an administrator, I collaborated with family and community members by going ahead with the meeting, even though there were only 8 parents there. By doing this, I'm showing that I'm invested in their child's education and future. I also felt that I collaborated when I contacted parents individually and asked for their help and viewpoints. And I also felt by posting meeting times on the school website that I'm encouraging that collaboration. The ways that I responded to diverse needs and interests of the community were by sending out a mass email and posting the meeting dates on the school website. That way I can get a larger representation of people there, and I'm hopefully not just singling out one group. I also felt that when I contacted the superintendent with my concerns, I was hoping to have him or her get more involved with the communication between the schools and the parents in all schools in the district. Therefore, more people's needs will be met. The way that I mobilized or utilized community resources, by inviting members of the community to the meetings through the webpage, I'm hoping to utilize those resources. And then also by contacting parents and teachers in the school, I'm hoping to open doors not only to communication, but to resources that become available through those parents and teachers. Many people have connections. You just have to build a relationship in order to know what's available out there.